friends, today we start with Angular. That video series is about Angular 11. So in this series we will see about Angular single page application, component, module and many more things. So first we start with Angular introduction. Before we start, please subscribe and like my channel because you can learn many more things and I'm trying to use current running languages related to design and development. So now I'll start with Angular intro. So what is Angular? So Angular is a platform and framework for building mobile desktop web applications using HTML and Typescript, a collection of well-integrated libraries that cover a wide variety to develop a great application. This is basically a component-based framework. Is done by hundreds of IT companies in India. With this framework, you can develop front-end based application without having to use other plugins or framework. Angular is a very similar to the JavaScript framework as it is open source. Open source that means you can do not purchase any kind of software and license. People who are found to using Angular tool can also get the design pattern for building the assignment in a maintainable method. Uses of classes and method become easier for you if using an Angular application that is properly crafted. Also, they have large structure of MVC framework. They maintaining your file like all HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and images, etc. Everything in structured way. So Angular architecture. Angular is the model view controller MVC framework. It provides clear guidance on how the application should be structured and offers directional data flow while providing real DOM. For example, modules, component, templates, or bindings, metadata services. So first we start module. Angular app has a root module named AppModule, which provides the bootstrap mechanism to launch the application. Component. Each component in the application defines a class that holds the application logic and data. A component generally defines a part of user interface. Angular template combines the Angular markup with HTML to modify HTML elements before they are displayed. There are two types of data binding. First is one-way data binding and two-way data binding. So we start interpolation. Interpolation is a one-way data binding. So interpolation communication of between TypeScript and HTML. They handle by object or properties. Event binding let your app respond to user input in the target environment by updating your application data. Property binding values that are computed from your application data into the HTML. Metadata, the finding out the class behavior. Services, if you have some data or logics, but that it isn't associated with view, but you want to share with components, so we need to create service classes. That service classes is always belong to be injectable decorator. So basically is all about Angular. So we have more things in next video. We more things we will see in more things in next video. Okay, so now why we use the Angular. If we have many more platforms and languages to handle your project easily, so why we use Angular? So why we use currently the application development have web standard technology, and that why foreign companies are want to work with Indian IT companies because we use many kind of framework for giving him most easily user interface, user experience have done, and Angular is most popular one. And Google companies is maintaining Angular and development. That is also a big point to use Angular. The developers are come with updated version in short time with all bugs resolved. Right now we are working on 11th version. So now we understand about single page application. What is single page application? Single page application is functional exit in a single page, single HTML page. So when user click on any link on your application, so browser need to render only the parts that matter to you to the user instead of loading a new page. I'll also explain with you an example. So if you go to on some general website and just do some action on website, like I'll click on the image link, see that browser going to be load and then data will be rendered. Okay, that is not a single page. Okay, single page application. Come with me and see Angular website. If you do anything here, click on click and any kind of navigation, so they give render some relevant content on page. It That is single page application. I wish now you clear about single page application. Now we go ahead with TypeScript. TypeScript is basically superset of JavaScript. It is maintaining by Microsoft. Primary language for Angular page development. Browser can't execute TypeScript directly, so we need to framework of transpiler to compile into JavaScript. They have some different features if we compare with to JavaScript. First is compiler in runtime is run. Second is strong static type. Like example, if you have a string, if you have some name or string value, define data type with using colon. Support object oriental programming concept. If you have idea about OOPS, so they working around on classes and objects interface. So like that, TypeScript also have concept like classes, interface, or inheritance. That all is TypeScript. I hope do you understand about everything of Angular and TypeScript. Now what next? What next we will see in next video. Angular file and folder structure and will create our first application. So please touch with me and learn something amazing. Thank you, and please subscribe and like my channel. If you have any doubt, so please ask me on comment really anytime.